Well, good evening and welcome to EMTV Live for tonight's classic match. Of course, tonight Edinburgh Monarchs should have been racing in Newcastle Diamonds in a championship clash at Armadale Stadium. Due to the coronavirus pandemic and lockdown, that's not going to happen, obviously. On behalf of everybody at Edinburgh Monarchs, I'd like to wish you all the best. I hope you're well, I hope you're looking after yourself and that you're staying safe. Instead, tonight we have a classic match from 1999 going back to the 26th of March, and this is Edinburgh Monarchs versus Workington Comets. It seems like we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to see the 2020 What the Fork Monarchs in action. My name is Liam Rudden.
And I'm John McGilvery, and as Liam said, it was Workington who came to Armadale in 1999. They were returning to the sport and led by Stonehewer and Brent, Werner. For the Monarchs, we had an exciting lineup led by James Grieves and an almost all Scottish lineup, Peter Carr, the only odd man out there. The match is full of exciting racing and includes an interesting interview with Ian Thomas. We hope you enjoy it. The lineup for the Monarchs at number 1, it's James Grieves, and at 2, Blair Scott. At number 3, it's Kevin Little. At 4, Stuart MacDonald. At number 5, it's that man Peter Carr. And the reserves at number 6, it's David McCallum. And at number 7, Ross Brady.
Well, thanks, John. The lineup for the Workington Comets for this match. At number 1, we have Carl Stonehewer. At number 2, it's Jamie Birkinshaw with Grant MacDonald at 3. At 4, it's Peter Scully. Brent Werner is 5. And at 6, it's Mark Blackwell. Jeff Powell is number 7. So let's nip over now to Mike Hunter and let's go racing.
feel in the air. See that light come shining down. Armadale Stadium for the 1999 season. Armadale, the home of the Edinburgh Monarchs, who this evening entertain a side with a great history behind it, and the man who's putting that history back in to another season there is Workington promoter Ian Thomas. Ian, great to have Workington back in the fold. You had a great opening night, didn't you?
Yeah, a terrific opening night. We'd over 4,000 people there. The rain stayed off till about heat 10. The gate worked, the starting lights worked. I think the only thing that was wrong is the PA was a bit iffy on the first corner, but it was a magnificent night, absolutely.
It must be quite something for the town of Workington to have Speedway back in the fold.
Yeah, and I think also we got so much coverage in the Sun. I don't know if you saw that. We got half a page one day with a voucher, and normally it's the multinational companies that have vouchers. The next day there was a quarter page with a voucher. That was a great success. You know, obviously we're not going to keep 4,000 people. An awful lot of people came from away tracks. But the town's buzzing. I think we will do very, very well.
You've put together a very good side. Was it difficult for you, knowing Workington's past history, you always had great sides there in the past, was it difficult to try and come up with a solid 7?
Yeah, I think, in the past we had loads and loads of Aussies there because nobody would travel to Workington. The motorway network is a little bit easier now than it was in 1970. And I remember 1970 it was 2 and 6, 3 and 6 and 4 and 6 to go in, old money. But no, there's one or two riders I would have liked. One of the guys from here, Ross Brady, I tried to get. I would have been delighted to have him in my team, but Ross decided to come here, and that's his prerogative. But I think we've maybe a little bit of fine-tuning to do, but we won on opening night, and probably should have won with a few more points. We had a few engine failures, a couple of falls, but all in all, more than satisfactory.
Yeah, I mean, you've promoted Speedway in the top flight as well. I mean, what do you think of the way the setup is now for Speedway? Do you think it can carry on going forward, or does it have to change its shape again?
Who knows? I mean, I'm often the person that can put Speedway right, if that's sort of the question that's been asked, would become a multi-millionaire. You know, my view is they've still got the music. They're still turning left. They're still doing 4 laps. I've tried very, very hard at Workington to market it, and I think so far, you know, that's proved successful. We can't keep at that level all the time. But I can't just say just go like that and there's one thing, you know.
No.
The sport's still good. It's a very marketable commodity. It's back on TV this year, so maybe that's a step in the right direction.
There seems to be more and more interest too from cable companies. We've got one locally here in Edinburgh that are keen to get on that because they see that, well, football only lasts so long and everybody gets fed up at the end of the day with it.
Yeah, I mean, we've had Border TV twice. We had them down to press and practice day. We had them, I think we got something like just under 4 minutes on the opening night, so they're showing an interest. Local radio, we've had block media coverage, and it's just a matter of keeping the thing going.
Talking of going, what about tonight's match for the Monarchs here? How do you see that?
You got to be favourites, haven't you? We're a new team. I think 3 of my riders have never ridden here before. I'm more worried about tomorrow night. I think you could well turn me over then.
Do you think so?
Possibility, yeah. Very, very strong team, Edinburgh. I think I'm on record somewhere saying they're top 4, top 5. And it's nice to see 6 Scotsmen in the team. Yes,
that I was just going to say, for the first time in a long, long time, I think we've got to go back to the 60s since we had, you know, nearly a full complement.
And yeah, that's right. And of course, I did take one of your riders to the Middle East last year, Kevin Little, on ice racing. I took him there for just under 3 weeks, and he was a delight to be with. He enjoyed himself, and it was a good experience for him.
Fine, well, thanks very much. We wish you all the luck at Workington. We'll keep watching the press and no doubt hearing all the stories about Workington coming out. In the meantime, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Cheers.
Well, there we go. Man who knows his Speedway well. Ian Thomas, promoter at Workington.
Okay. Well, the season starts here at Armadale, and already it'll be noticeable that the starting gate across the other side, of course. That was the decision of the planners that had to be done, so we're looking from afar at the moment at Carl Stonehewer coming into Gate 1 for the Comets. Gate 2, it's the new Monarch James Grieves. They're mostly new Monarchs, in fact. In Gate 3, it's Jamie Birkinshaw, and in Gate 4, Blair Scott. First race of the season, 1999. Monarchs start the year with high hopes. Workington have started already with a home match last weekend, which went extremely well. And Blair Scott's into the tapes. First race of the season, first exclusion. Well, David McCallan coming in to replace Blair Scott here. We had the choice of David or Ross Brady. I think they're testing out the starting tapes. One would have thought that should be done before the season starts, but hopefully we're all ready now, and the riders' nerves must be really jangling. Stonehewer's made the best start. David McCallan's well away from the outside gate, so the Monarchs settling into second and third, and James Grieves through into second now and really bursting after Stonehewer there. Look at this from Grieves. He looks really quick there, but he's not quite got alongside Stonehewer. He switched to the outside and trying to cut down on Stonehewer there. Birkinshaw's pressing McCallan at the back, and Grieves is climbing all over the back of Stonehewer here. Look at Grieves, what a speed he's through. What a fabulous start by James Grieves. He's taken Carl Stonehewer. Stonehewer's coming back round the outside. Grieves trying to force him out. What a start to the season. Neck and neck into this third corner here. Stonehewer may go ahead. He's on the outside line. He's gone ahead into the last lap. McCallan still holds third. Stonehewer's back in front again, but Grieves has made a very impressive start. He's winding it on into the last turn. Stonehewer's got a victory in a terrific race. And in third place, it's going to be just David McCallan to share the race. Well, that was a rip-roaring start to the season at Armadale. It looked as though James Grieves had passed Stonehewer. He had, but Stoney came back in his familiar style. Fabulous start to the season, a shared race at 3-all, and a lot to be pleased with already in the 1999 season at Armadale.
Holding on to that, please. There'll be a share of points. And he does. Let's show your appreciation, please, for the victor, the winner of the points. Wow, Stonehewer.
Well, heat number 2, and already we're seeing David McCallan for the second time. I'm sure he'll be quite happy with how he went in heat number 1 with a third place. He comes into gate 1 there. In gate 2 it's Mark Blackwell, the young lad from Sheffield who's joined Workington this season. Gate 3 Ross Brady, local boy who rode Peterborough last year and now he's up with the Monarchs, which they're very pleased about. And in gate 4 everybody's hero Jeff Powell, who had a dramatic evening on Workington's opener and of course is extremely well known in these parts and sure to be competitive. But the nerves must be difficult to control at this stage, I should think, so early in the season. Away we go, and Ross Brady's got a cracking start. That's what he's noted for. He's away beautifully there and round the first turn safely. Powell and McCallan contesting second place, and David coming inside. Jeff Powell driving back, almost catching him there, and Ross has stopped already. Oh, that's a major disaster for him. He looked impressive on the first lap, but the bike's gone. David McCallan has just got ahead of Jeff Powell there, but Big Jeff once again driving through there and almost sweeping David into the fence on the home straight. So we wonder how serious Ross Brady's problems are. Seems to be something of an Edinburgh disease to run into difficulties. Ross may feel encouraged. David's gone badly across the corner there and down, so the Comets are going to take a 5-1 here. And Edinburgh will get one only if David McCallan gets himself going again, which he has. So Jeff Powell, on actually his first appearance at Armadale, takes a victory, and the visitors take the lead by 8 points to 4, and the rustiness in men and machines is showing already in the home camp. Well, heat number 3, it's Grant MacDonald coming into the inside gate. Grant, ridden here many times with the Glasgow Tigers. In fact, he's been here on opening night in each of the last 2 seasons. I think Peter Scully's broken the tape there. He's going to be in gate 3 eventually. Gate 2 will be Kevin Little, the new captain of the Monarchs this season. And in gate 4, Stuart MacDonald, Another man whose nerves probably will be jangling. I mustn't use that phrase too often, it gets repetitive, but I can feel how they must be feeling. Grant MacDonald makes bike covers, leathers, Kevlars and so on, so no doubt decked out by himself. Peter Scully doesn't make leathers, so he's in last year's old tat. In fact, it's Stuart McDonald gate 2, Kevin Little out on gate 4 here, so the Monarchs looking to come back after the disappointment of heat number 2, in which they were doing so well at one point. But it won't be easy here. Peter Scully goes very well around this circuit, and Grant's had his moments too. Stuart McDonald's away well, Kevin Little trying to go with him on the outside. Grant MacDonald is in on the inside. Stuart bounces across the track there, and Kevin eases his way inside him. Scully chasing, MacDonald on the inside, Scully on the more familiar outside line that he likes. Well, Kevin Little likes to do a bit of team riding, but it's not always easy. Stuart McDonald a wee bit wobbly there. Kevin has gone ahead of him now. Stuart trying to get that bike turned, and he's under pressure on both sides. Kevin's gone ahead. It's up to Stuart to hold off the visitors. He had a bad year last year. A good race result here will help his confidence without doubt. MacDonald is the man doing the chasing now. He looks a little quicker than Stuart. Both MacDonald, of course. Stuart holding second place. Riding nicely so far. Kevin Little's well clear. Stuart MacDonald's doing his job. And he's done it to the finish. A terrific second place for Stuart. He'll be starting to win over the fans already, if he hasn't done so before the season. And they've levelled the scores there, Little and Stuart MacDonald, with a very good ride. Kevin stayed with Stuart for a couple of laps, then I think he felt he had to move ahead, and he was right, I believe. The job was done and the scores are level. Ross Brady's made it to the line for heat number 4 with just about 30 seconds remaining. I think it's the same machine minus bike cover, so we'll see how that goes. Jeff Powell's on gate 1. The red lights are on. Jim McGregor's causing a fuss already. They're off again now. Ross Brady's in gate 2. No, the red lights are back on again, and now they're off again. Brent Werner rides from gate 3, the American who finished last season very strongly with Newcastle Diamonds. And Peter Carr, the home top average man, rides from gate 4. And Brent Werner's made the start. Ross Brady, I think, has gone with him. Swung across the track though and left Peter Carr stranded at the rear. Peter comes through now into at least third, possibly second. Ross Brady roaring into second place there, trying to hold a wide line probably to let Peter come through. He's having a look across at his partner, and he's now chasing Brent Werner, but he's got a great deal of work to do here. A very poor start by Peter. He had trouble with his gating for a lot of last season, but he's eating up the ground now. He's almost onto Werner's back wheel, roaring around the inside of that corner. Look at Carr go. He's got one lap to pass the American, and he's right on his tail. Turning it tight there up on his favourite passing corner, and he's come screaming through. Superb overtake by Peter Carr. That's what the fans love to see. What a victory by Peter Carr, and the Monarchs take the lead. He came from a mile behind there against a good man He caught him and he passed him, and Peter Carr still can do the business. Magnificent ride by the Monarchs' top man. Heat number 5, the Monarchs holding a 2-point lead now, and we've had 2 classic races out of 4. Not a bad average so far. This could be a good one as well, with Kevin Little coming from gate 1, Jamie Birkinshaw gate 2, Stuart MacDonald in gate 3, and Carl Stonehewer, the spectacular winner of the thrilling opening race, he comes from gate 4. Carl Stonehewer won 4 races in Workington's opening match and stopped in his other one, so he hasn't really been beaten this season. And I think Stoney and Kevin Little have made the start. Stoney's quite well placed for the run round the outside. What can Kevin do here down the straight? He's back behind Stonehewer. Jamie Birkinshaw's in 3rd. Stuart MacDonald's got some work to do. He's charging up the straight there, and he's burst inside Birkinshaw there if he can hold it. He's possibly brought Birkinshaw down there. I don't know what the referee made of that one. The race hasn't been stopped, it has now, but I suspect that the length of time taken to stop it means that Birkinshaw's out, and the light confirms that. The referee had a decent view there to see whether there was space, and the determination of MacDonald brought an overtake there. I wonder what Jamie thought about it. Heat 5 rerun gives Kevin Little a second chance to try and get clear of Carl Stonehewer on the first bend. But it's not going to be easy, obviously. And of course Big Stuart might get a better start. He'll be quite happy with how he's got his evening underway so far. Oh, he's very slowly away there, Stuart MacDonald, like a snail, but Kevin Little's got a cracking start. Can he stay ahead of Stonehewer here? He has done. He's got round the first turn ahead of the Comets number 1, and Kevin's going for glory. He really outgated Carl by a few lengths there. And once Kevin's away, he's quick. He's really roaring on. Stonehewer's close. Just a length and a half, couple of lengths down. The Comets number 1 could be facing his first defeat of the season. Kevin Little knows he's got to go flat out all the way. No let up. He's riding perfectly. The Monarchs captain with 1 lap to go for the first defeat of Carl Stonehewer this year. He's going to do it barring accidents. A beautiful ride by Kevin Little. He got a second bite at the cherry and he's taken it. Terrific ride. Stuart MacDonald picks up the point, and in the end Kevin beat Carl with quite a few lengths to spare there. That augurs very well for the Monarchs captain's season, and they double their lead to 4 points. Heat number 6, we've got Brent Werner coming into gate 1. He was taken from the back by Peter Carr after leading his opening race. In gate 2 it's Blair Scott, who hasn't got across the start line yet. In gate 3 Mark Blackwell, and in gate 4 it's James Grieves, who was involved in that heat 1 thriller with Carl Stonehewer. So Monarchs 4 up, and they're getting close to the point where they're likely to be facing this golden double nonsense that we have this year. We'll explain that when it happens, as I'm sure it's going to. Oh dear, Jim McGregor strikes and puts the red lights on for no apparent reason. The riders haven't seen it yet. Now they have. Looked a perfectly fair start to me, but Jim can see things that nobody else can. Is he excluding anybody? No, he just felt like flexing his muscles. Well, Jim wasn't happy. He often isn't. So we go again. And Werner's got a corking start from the inside gate there. James Grieves works his way into second place with Blair Scott in third. So James isn't getting off the start line too well so far, but he's setting chase after Brent Werner. We saw him pass Stoney in the opening race, but he couldn't hold it. Here he comes roaring around the outside there. Has he done it? He's almost level with Werner as they hit the pits turn, I'll call it that, because I can't remember what number it is. Werner just ahead as they go into lap 2. Another cracking race here. Grieves on the outside again, trying to cut back. Overslid a bit there. Lost about a length. Roaring round the outside this time. Once again, almost clips Werner's back wheel. Really giving it everything. Roaring into that turn, James, but Werner's hanging on. Last bend, what can he do? Roaring for the outside again. Grieves almost there. And he's done it. It's a last bend overtake. Sensational riding by James Grieves. Well, Brent Werner will be getting tired of this. Caught on the last lap again. He's giving us some thrilling racing though, and James Grieves, a magnificent effort there. 100% all the way, never gave up. And what a fabulous overtake. He wasn't in complete control around that last turn, but determination did it for James. And the Monarchs have gone 6 up.
Showing appreciation for some outstanding Speedway, the victor, James Grieves.
Gate number 7 as Peter Carr coming from gate number 1, having got a very poor start in his first race. Gate 2 it's Grant MacDonald. Gate 3 is David McCallan, and Peter Scully rides from gate 4. And Workington would be hoping for a 3-all here, and that would mean they would almost certainly take the lead in heat 8, which you might think sounds silly, but it's true. Peter Carr, another poor start, but he's pushed ahead of Grant MacDonald on the first turn, and David McCallan trying to come through on the inside. He's close. Oh my goodness, a rather nasty tumble there. Both Scully and McCallan have come down very heavily there. Well, David McCallan is fit for the rerun, we're delighted to say. Peter Scully has gone into the ambulance, but the ambulance hasn't left the stadium, so we're hopeful that it's not a serious one for Peter. May well be that we don't see Peter racing again, but the key thing is that he should be okay. We'll find out about that later. We've got the rerun. Peter Scully has been excluded. Having watched the replay, I feel that's a little harsh, but it is difficult for the referee to make a decision on something that happens right across the track from him. So we've got Peter Carr and David McCallan, with opponent Grant MacDonald in between them. Oh! Well, Peter Carr's engine went there. So gremlins, quite a few gremlins around tonight. And, well, interestingly enough, this is a good result for the Monarchs. I don't know whether Ian Thomas had any words with Grant MacDonald before the race, but the Comets really do not want to take a 3-2 here. But it looks as though they're going to. We should put them 5 down going into heat 8, and that's not what they wanted. I'm sure Peter Carr didn't deliberately have a problem there, because it looked as though it might be a serious one. Grant MacDonald races into his last lap. And the Comets do indeed take a 3-2 in a curious heat number 7, which leaves them 5 down and not able to use a tactical substitute, golden double or otherwise, in heat number 8. So heat 8 goes as per programme. Ross Brady's taking a long time to come up to the tapes because he's warming his tyre. He'll be in blue on gate 1. Jeff Powell's in gate 2, Blair Scott in gate 3, and Jamie Birkinshaw in gate 4. Jamie hasn't picked up a point so far. So the difference that Peter Carr's engine failure has made is quite substantial. We could have been looking at Brent, Werner and Carl Stonehewer on a handicap going for 8 here. Ross Brady's made an excellent start from gate 1. He's got ahead with Birkinshaw and Powell in second and third, but Jeff has toppled over on the first corner there in somewhat ungainly fashion. And Ross Brady looking very good out in front. The Monarchs would be looking to Blair Scott to come through here, but he got rather a bad start. He's closing in now on Birkinshaw and holding a tight line there, trying to squeeze through the inside, but he's not close enough. Ross Brady looking outstanding out in front. A long way clear. Now Blair Scott's driving in hard on Birkinshaw, and he looks as though he might get through here. The Comets come back though. He's got the extra drive on the outside and he's gone back ahead again in a good race for second place. Once again Scott holding the line there, and that could in the end be a profitable tactic. It's going to be very close for second place. Birkinshaw is going to get it. He's ridden a very good race there. Very well done to him for that second, and especially well done I think to Ross Brady there, who won by a long way in that one to give the Monarchs a 4-2 and a 7-point lead. Now the tactical substitutes can come in, but of course it's not so easy. Very well done to Ross Brady there. Well, we have a tactical substitute in this one, but it doesn't look like a golden double. I think you have to hold up the board that says golden double, and they haven't done that. And Carl Stonehewer's coming up to the gate, riding off gate 4. He's paired with Brent Werner here, a formidable duo. We've got Stuart MacDonald on gate 1 and Kevin Little on gate 3. And once again, Kevin has a lot of responsibility here. The Monarchs lead by 7. And Brent Werner streaks from the start again, and Stonehewer's gone with him, I think. So Kevin Little's got a lot to do. Stuart MacDonald, in fact, is in second at the moment, ahead of Stonehewer. Look at Stuart there. Kevin Little's fallen off, and Stuart MacDonald's taken the lead. Oh, would you believe it? MacDonald leads the way. What a superb effort by Stuart. Well, you usually get unpredictable happenings on opening night, and I certainly couldn't have predicted this one. Stuart MacDonald screaming away. This will be Stuart's best race result for a long time if he can complete this final lap without a mistake, and he's riding smoothly, steadily and determinedly. It looked as though the Comets were on a 5-1. Stuart MacDonald thought otherwise. What a race result for Stuart MacDonald. Absolutely superb. He took Werner from the back and left Stonehewer standing. Absolutely incredible result. Kevin Little's lost his unbeaten record, but at the moment nobody's bothered about that. The hero of the moment is Stuart MacDonald. Heat number 10, we've got Blair Scott on gate 1, he's got a tough one here. Brent Werner's in gate 2, tactical substitute, ordinary type. Gate 3, James Grieves, and gate 4, it's Grant MacDonald. So Brent Werner's made the start in all 3 races so far. And there he goes again, he's certainly gating absolutely brilliantly. And Grant MacDonald's trying to get round the outside of James Grieves here, but I don't think he's quite made it. He's into third though. And once again James Grieves is chasing with Werner leading for the 4th time tonight. Can he manage a race win this time? Grieves determined again, chasing hard. Going for that outside as he did when he overtook him previously, but he's not made it this time. And Grant MacDonald's in close pursuit as well. Peter Scully, we've heard, is out the meeting. Brent Werner is replacing him. James isn't making the ground as he did last time. He's just dropped a few yards behind. He's cut to the inside there, and he does have to think seriously about the man on his tail there. Grant MacDonald looking quite threatening, and Grant is a good overtaker. One bend to go this time. Brent Werner could get that race win, although he's bucked and reared there. He just made it by a length there. At last, a start has paid off for Brent Werner. Just held off James there. And another hell for leather chase by Grieves. Didn't quite make it. 4-2 to the visitors. And the gap is now 5 points. Well, heat number 10 brings together Peter Carr and Carl Stonehewer. We're not quite sure what bike Peter Carr's on. We've got Jamie Birkinshaw on gate 1, Peter Carr on gate 2, Carl Stonehewer gate 3, and it's Ross Brady actually replacing David McCallan here, coming from gate 4. I think Peter Carr's actually made a start this time, and so's Ross Brady. Ross screaming around the boards there, but that's too wide, I think, and Stonehewer's got inside him. He just gave it a wee bit too much throttle on the first corner, Ross, that time. But the flying Peter Carr's gone clear. I still haven't been able to check whether it's his own machine. Certainly seems to be going quickly enough. No, it isn't. It's Stuart MacDonald's machine, and he looks as though he likes it. And Stuart seems to have something quick under him this year, having already beaten Werner and Stonehewer. Peter doesn't look all that happy. He's having a quick look round every now and then to see where Carl Stonehewer is. He probably doesn't want to blow Stuart's engine up. He's done a super job there, Peter Carr, on a borrowed machine. And the Monarchs take a 4-2 to once again extend their lead to 7 points. And Peter Carr on somebody else's bike gets out the gate. Half decent for once. Heat number 12, just 4 to go, and it is getting a little bit chilly on this opening night, so I want to see the riders cracking on and not hanging back as they are at the moment. In this heat number 12, we're going to see Mark Blackwell coming into gate number 1. He's got to have his third ride, and I don't really think the Comets have got a tack sub left in any case. Kevin Little's going to be in gate 2. Grant MacDonald, who's had a pretty impressive night, he rides from gate number 3, and Ross Brady, with 5 points to his credit so far after packing up in heat 2, he comes from gate 4. Oh dear, Ross has stopped again. The Monarchs having far too many machine problems tonight. Mark Blackwell's taken the lead here. Kevin Little right out there to get some drive, but he's not got past so far, and Mark's riding very impressively out in front. Now Little comes roaring round the fence there. And he's just ahead as they hit the pits turn again. Blackwell fighting hard on that inside line. Good effort by Blackwell, certainly riding well there. Took Little all his time to get round him there. Grant McDonald coming through at the last gasp, but it's too late to make any difference. Shared race there, and Mark Blackwell's race result won't look particularly impressive since he only beat the non-finisher, but you have to say he rode very well there, and he can be well encouraged by that ride in what was eventually a shared race, leaving the gap at 7 points, and the Monarchs with their third major engine failure of the night. The 8.13's always a big one, and no exception here. James Grieves coming from gate 1. He's just won one heat so far, but he's been involved in some real thrillers. Carl Stonehewer's on gate 2. He won heat 1 and he's struggled a wee bit since then. Peter Carr rides from gate 3 once again on Stuart McDonald's machine. And in gate 4, definitely the fastest skater of the night, Brent Werner, who's led all 4 races, and he finally managed to win one, his 4th one. This is his 5th. And I wouldn't bet against him making the start here either. James Grieves up in the air, and the Comets are away. Well, James hasn't gated terribly well tonight. Werner and Stonehewer settle in at the front. Peter Carr on Stuart McDonald's machine, remember. Unfamiliar. And he'll find it difficult to get inside Carl Stonehewer, I think. Although there might be a wee gap there. There is. Oh, look at that. A double overtake by Peter Carr. Absolutely incredible. What a fabulous effort on a borrowed machine. Saw the gap on the inside. That's his favourite passing line, and he got through it. And now James Grieves is pressing as well. He's putting Werner under severe pressure. He's driven him off the line. Carr with a lap to go. Stonehewer on his tail. Grieves now in 3rd. Another thrilling race on a night when the racing for an opening night has been absolutely breathtaking, and Peter Carr, totally devastating there after a terrible start, just flew through that gap on the borrowed machine. He'll have to get it back to Stuart now, but marvellous racing there. Carl Stonehewer taken by surprise. James Grieves got a good 3rd as well. And the Monarchs can be very, very happy with the way things are going at the moment. This is heat 14. We've got Grant McDonald on gate 1 here. Gate 2, Ross Brady, who's having to work hard tonight because I don't think David McCallan's fully fit. Jeff Powell rides from gate 3, and Stuart McDonald with a great ride in his last one, and 2 wins for Peter Carr on his bike. He comes from gate 4. And Ross is away. The bike's going this time. Stuart McDonald aiming for the big long run round the outside, but he's just behind Grant as they hit the pits turn. Stuart's out wide there, and he's down. Well, it's all happening. So the race is in the hands of Ross Brady now. And Ross looks well capable. Hope that's not speaking too soon. When he gets out in front, he looks very, very comfortable. He's only raced 5 Premier League matches in his career. This is his 6th match at this level, I think. And in spite of 2 engine failures, he's going to finish with about 8 or 9 points. Tremendous victory for Ross Brady, and what a trump card he's going to be for the Monarchs this season. Stuart McDonald overshadowed this time as he finishes having fallen off, but he's a hero tonight as well. And Ross Brady gets his 2nd victory in what has really been a memorable night for him. For 15 of what's been a long night, but a very eventful and exciting night as well. Plenty to talk about, and maybe more here with Kevin Little coming from gate 1. Gate 2, Carl Stonehewer. Gate 3, James Grieves. Gate 4, Brent Werner. No Peter Carr. He's been the star of the night, but he's had to do his last 2 races on borrowed machinery, so that's, I'm sure, the reason that Peter's not out here. 4 good men and true to complete what's been a tremendous evening. The Monarchs have won the match. They go into the last race 9 ahead, but if the Spring Trophy's up for grabs, then this race will be important for that. And the Comets have made the start. Kevin's made a poor start from the inside. James Grieves, who hasn't been gating well tonight, has had to come galloping through the field. Now he hits the outside looking for a passing line. And he's almost up alongside Stonehewer there. He's gone through into second place. And Carl doesn't look quick at the moment. He's getting caught. Grieves chasing Werner, almost inside him there. Fierce determination from James Grieves. Look at that. Werner fights back. Tremendous riding by Grieves. He's gone ahead after a terrible start. That was magnificent riding once again, and the Monarchs heat leaders really showing terrific determination from the back. Absolutely brilliant riding by Grieves there. Kevin Little stuck at the back. I don't think he's going to pick anything up, but Grieves has done a magnificent job here. Last to first to complete a fabulous night's racing. I doubt if there's ever been a better opening night's racing at any of Monarchs venues. Quite wonderful stuff there from James Grieves as he really forced his way through. He was just having nothing of anything other than first place there. Fabulous ride by James Grieves to end a tremendous night for the Monarchs with victory by 49 points to 40 in what's been a really outstanding meeting. Well, here come the 1999 Monarchs for the first time, and it certainly won't be the last on tonight's showing. They've won by 9 points, which is not a huge victory, but I think we've seen some exceptionally encouraging signs from virtually all of the team in tonight's match. 49-40 the final score. The Edinburgh Monarchs scorers: James Grieves 11 from 5, and we had some fabulous thrusting riding from the back from James. Blair Scott got 2 from 4, starting with a tape touch, and Blair will not be all that happy with his night's work, I don't think. Kevin Little got 9 from 5, which included a fall and 3 victories, and he was the first man to lower Carl Stonehewer's colours, so plenty of encouragement for Kevin there. Stuart MacDonald had a fabulous third ride, win from the back over Brent Werner, 6 and a bonus from 4 for Stuart, looking good. Peter Carr had an engine fire and 3 wins for 9 from 4 and looked absolutely devastating, simply eating up the opposition from the back. David McCallan got 4 and 1 and took a heavy tumble, but the score there is okay for David. And Ross Brady had 2 engine fires in races he might have won and still scored 8 from 6. That adds up to 49. For Workington, Carl Stonehewer got 11 and 2 from 6. Jamie Birkinshaw 2 from 4. Graham MacDonald a useful 9 from 5, looking as though he may well fill in the heat leader's berth quite successfully there. Peter Scully got 0 from 2, and the news is that he seems to be okay. We're happy about that after a heavy crash. Brent Werner got 11 from 6 and gated like a scalded cat. Mark Blackwell 3 and 2 from 3 with a good last ride. And big leggy Jeff Powell 4 and 1 from 4, winning his first race. So we've got the season off to a sizzling start here at Armadale. Lots more of that, please. We look forward to it in the weeks to come. That's it then. Good night from Armadale.
Well, now, if you would like a mention on EMTV Live during any of these broadcasts, you can now drop a line to John or myself by email. Send it to johnandliam@edinburghmonarchs.co.uk, or you can catch us on Twitter at Liam Rudden, LIAMRUDDEN, all one word, or at The Boy Jan, THEBOYJAN, The Boy Jan. You can catch either of us on Twitter, drop us a line, and we'll give you a mention. John, over to you.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed this evening's action. We'll be back on Tuesday the 21st of April, where we'll be showing the match from July 2008 versus Redcar. Don't forget to join us on Sunday from 12 o'clock on our Sunday lunch with Sam Masters. Join Liam and I for our Facebook Live chat with Sam Masters. Stay safe, and we'll see you back here on EMTV.
One day with a song playing in my mind, popping on by bad like a ricochet. Bad news was hard to find.